have not finished. And, okay, certain facts that we know. I will remind, they are an endangered animal. And they are only found now, as far as they've been able to, in Borneo and Sumatra. They have, their population has decreased mostly through losing habitat, because they live in dense forest, and when they lose that, they can't handle it being among, you know, as a whole, living around people, not and reproduce and do all those things they need to do. Now, I don't know about zoos, but anyway, there's also hunting, but the biggest problem has been deforestation. So what's happening is the governments are beginning to step in and say, this is as far as you can go, because these animals need their living area. Primarily, they tend to be solitary. They're not as social as other apes or monkeys. And the males generally don't have a lot with raising the kids. The young, they stay with mom for generally the first 7 years. Now, I'm going to forget all that for a little bit to make this little family cartoon. So, I'm going to point you down and we're going to get ready with this. We have crowned the king of the orangutans. At least in this case. Okay, we need a little troublemaker. So, at least one. So we're going to that needs to blend in a bit. Oh well. Okay. Let's give it a face first. Do it down here. We're going to title this, Where is Your Mother? Because I'm going to have fun with that one. Now we're going to... Okay, I'm just filling in a face right now. Later I will do all the facial features when this is dry. But I do want a placement. And let's get some fur on him. Him or her. Now they're just like the mom and dad, their arms are very long. Down practically to their toes. And their hair's very long too. Now I think what I want to do with this guy is, instead of this being an arm here, that's just going to be some I'm going to have him over here grabbing Daddy's fur, or his hands, trying to get him to do something. Come on, Dad. Let's have some fun. This might be about a 2-year-old. They stay with their mother till they're like 7. And she teaches them everything. I want to make that just a bit lighter because I don't want it looking like it's just the same part of... I want to be able to distinguish one from the other one. Alright, little guy. Yeah, that works better for you. We can make you out better. Oh. I'll be putting some toes down here on his feet. A lot of them is covered by their fur, but okay, that's drying for a minute. So they sleep in the trees on a bed of leaves. They make their bed every night. They make a new bed on these leaves. So I'm using banana leaves. They're not small animals. So they're not exactly going to be having... I'm going to use bigger... They're going to need something strong. So I may put something that will indicate maybe another across limb here to help. But what I thought was really interesting is they make a new bed of leaves every night. So I don't know what they do with them while they're sleeping, but they make a new one every night.
It's interesting here to note that they know how many orangutans are in the forest by counting the number of nests. That is really interesting.
Since they would be overlapping, I'm not going to worry too much about distinguishing. They do, it's kind of, I think we call it kind of a nest, or the scientists do, or whatever, zoologists. So I'm not going to try to distinguish each leaf as much as that might seem a little lazy. But no, we have, I mean, there's some distinguishing here, but I'm not going to distinguish each one. So there's one bed, nest. I imagine maybe after they've slept in them a night, if they've rolled around much, or if they've pulled leaves over them, or anything like that, they're probably pretty messed up, so that's probably why they need new ones. So I'm going to put... I'm just going to consider that it sort of disappears. That one can go up that way. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go through this, and then I will go back when it's dry. Yeah, sometimes I change my mind while I'm working, and then I have to go back and fix it again. So that's just me. I only think I know what I'm doing when I start out. Okay, so there's one nest or bed. Then there could be another one up here. See these banana leaves that have been falling, and possibly they've used some of them for This would probably be one of the baby's beds. Actually, they do cling to mom quite a bit. Almost exclusively for the first couple years. The first 7 or 8 years of their life, their mother, they cling to their mom and learn just about everything that they need to learn from her. Dad, well, he gives a chance for them to have life. But in this sense, we have a dad that is a king and who is not just, he's there. And I'm going to say he's probably there for correction. At least in this sense. He's going to be, I do not like you pulling and tugging on me. They have a thumb. I don't do exact. I'm not that schooled of an artist. I do like to do a good job, but I know I'm not going to be perfect. Yeah, I'll be putting a lot of fur over these feet, and then I'll be making the toes a little more prominent. And their arms, as you can see, the arms are very long down to the ankles. I want him to have a handful of Dad's fur. His hands aren't much bigger than to do that. He's like, come on, Dad. That's just how they are, all fuzzy. If they stretch their arms out, it's all down here. You know, like my fatty flab, it's all, with them it's all hair. You're hair and muscle, aren't you? Hair and muscle. Now, Daddy should have a beard. A lot of the males do have beards. Some even mustache. But we're gonna leave it with a beard. Okay, his nostrils are flared because he's a little aggravated with this kid. And that would mean that his eyes should be a little bit hooded, or like that. I don't know if they have eyebrows. You know if they have eyebrows? I'm going to give him some to add to this angry look. Oh, that did it. Now generally you would not see him on the ground like this, but for this, that's what I'm going to do. And there's Dad and the kid. I hope you can see their expressions. We'll get a better close-up later. Okay, we need to work on these bananas again. Problem is that darn yellow does not cover very well. So I'm having to use a little darker. We'll see if I have to go darker yet. Okay, I want to get the shape. What we would call the top end once they get in the store is the bottom end here. Don't ask me why they grow that way. God knows, I don't. Okay, I want to try and get a nice picture of this. I want to get down here and show you. There's Junior. He's kind of weird looking. And there's the father. Looked better when not looking so close. There we go. There's all those bananas. And I might put a little story on the back. Just kind of like what we've been talking about when it's dry. Maybe if I'd had longer textbook maybe about orangutans, I don't know, but here we are. So we are done for this painting. We love you. Ah, I got a squeal. Smile and wave. There's yours. Go share it. It's been really hot and muggy for us here lately, so I haven't been out much. Joe has gone out and he usually comes in saying, "Oh, it's so hot out." So he went and got a haircut today. He's looking all the more handsome. Good night.